I'm sorry, ma'am. Your name isn't on the list. That sentence didn't just bruise me. It erased me. I stood under a garland of white roses at the Glass Conservatory at Harbor Point in Seattle. My daughter, my Lila, was getting married inside at 4 p.m., July 27, 2024. I am Faya, 64, mother of one, keeper of receipts and promises. The wedding planner had a badge that read Brie Carver. She held a clipboard like it was scripture. She scanned columns and shook her head. Family only inside until the processional, she said. The mother of the bride is not on the list. My voice sounded borrowed. I am the mother of the bride. She tucked her pity behind perfect teeth. I can get you water. I could see past her shoulder, strings warming up, a white aisle runner, chandeliers catching light. I had paid the venue deposit on November 3rd last year. $18,750. My hands knew the exact weight of that check. I wasn't supposed to be the mother who couldn't afford a wedding. I worked 30 years as a school secretary. I learned every child's allergy and birthday and favorite sticker. I learned to make joy out of leftovers. When Lila got engaged, I opened a new spreadsheet. November 3, 2023, venue deposit, $18,750. January 12, 2024, photographer retainer, $5,200. April 2, 2024, catering service/tasting, $4,100. May 18, 2024, gown installment, $2,890, alterations estimate, $630. June 9, 2024, hair and makeup trial, $980. July 3, 2024, signage/favors/place cards, $1,380. Total, $33,930 in 8 months. Every memo line said, for your day. I bought a teal dress on sale for $220. I added a beige shawl when I learned the palette was ivory, sand, eucalyptus. I even made a gardenia corsage from the bush we planted when she was 5. I believed money could buy me a seat to watch my daughter's happiness. It turns out it bought me a bottle of water in the lobby. $33,930 in 8 months. I met the groom's mother in January. Margot Valley. Winter white, diamond studs, smile like a pressed flower, pretty, flattened, preserved. We're keeping it curated, she said. 124 guests. No plus ones unless they photograph well. My laugh died in my throat. The groom, Jordan, was charming in the way men are when they've learned that charm can substitute for truth. He said we a lot. Lila said less than that. My ex-husband Mark re-entered like a man testing a pool with one toe. Clean-shaven. Attentive to Margot. He and I had been strangers for 22 years. I showed Lila my teal dress. Her smile stopped at her cheeks. It's sweet, she said. But the palette. I added a beige shawl, I said. We just want things, simple, she said. Simple became the word that built a wall. On wedding morning, I woke up at 6:17 a.m. without an alarm. Ironed my dress. I pressed my shawl. I brewed coffee I couldn't swallow. At 10:16 a.m., I texted Lila a photo of the gardenia corsage. A little white whisper from our backyard. No reply. By noon, I drove to the venue with my trunk full of just-in-cases safety pins, bobby pins, stain remover. The sky over Elliot Bewa sa postcard. In the parking lot, Margot air-kissed someone and floated past in ivory. It photographs better than beige, she said, unasked. At the check-in table, Bree's clipboard cut me clean in two. Ma'am, you'll need to wait outside. I'm the mother of the bride, I said. My voice had sand in it. I have mother of groom, father of bride, aunt, cousin, no Faya. Call my daughter, I said. Please. Bre radio. I stood there holding a warm bottle of water and a colder truth. Jordan came out first. His tie matched money. Faya, he said like my name was something he'd mispronounced before. It's a small ceremony. We keeping it simple. Simple. I said. I paid the deposit. He flinched, small. Your contributions were generous. But you weren't assigned a seat. Margot appeared, a lily scent that didn't ask permission. We didn't want any incidents. Incidents. I repeated. Mark hovered behind them. He looked at his shoes. We'll get lunch Monday, he mumbled, like I was an errand he'd put off. I need the venue manager, I said. Owen Park, the venue manager, arrived with the calm they teach at hospitality school. Ms. Taylor. Richter, I corrected. Fia Richter. He pulled a folder. The contract on file is under the bride's name, Lila Vale. Payments from F. Richter appear as gifts. My laugh was not kind. My emails were with you. In my name. He slid over a printout, assignment of contract. Assignor, Fea Richter. Date, May 2nd, 2024. The signature looked like a child tracing a grown-up's hand with their non-dominant one. I didn't sign this, I said. Then someone signed for you, he said quietly. Security stepped closer. We can escort you to the garden, the guard said softly, like you talk to a spooked horse. Escort me to the garden outside the life I paid for. I sat in my car at 3:59 p.m. with the windows up and the world too loud. I heard strings swell. I heard applause. I watched people in their best clothes walk past my door and not see me. At 4:28 p.m., a text. Lila, Mom, please don't make a scene. We'll talk later. At 7:48 p.m., please respect our boundaries. It's my day. At 9:12 p.m., Cousin Tara posted a photo, Lila in lace, Jordan smiling like success was something you could marry. Caption, family only. I put the gardenia corsage in a glass of water. It drooped like an apology I didn't owe. I woke to 37 messages. Pity tastes like old pennies. Half the messages began, "Are you okay?" The other half whispered, "Margot handled the list. She wanted a clean aesthetic." At 9:03 a.m., I opened my spreadsheet and added a new row. July 27, 2024, dignity, priceless. Then I printed every receipt. I highlighted every memo, for venue, for photographer, for premium package. I pulled up emails. October 9, 2023, Mom, the conservatory won't hold our date without a deposit. Please. January 10, 2024, we need $5,200 today to lock the photographer. April 2, 2024, catering service is $4,100. Margot says premium is standard. If love is a ledger, mine was in the black. If love is a contract, mine had been reassigned without my consent. My neighbor, Nora Kim, knocked with a thermos and mercy. Tea, she said. And a lawyer. She slid a card across my table, Priya Desai, Consumer Rights. She helped my cousin when a contractor forged his signature, Nora said. You're not crazy. Priya's office smelled like peppermint and paper. I emptied my folder onto her desk. Receipts. Emails. A printed photo of a corsage that lived for one day. Gifts are tricky, she said. Courts assume money to a child is a gift, unless you can show conditions or misrepresentation. Forged signatures? Different story. Also, emails matter. Can I get my money back? I asked. We can pursue unjust enrichment, she said. And we can ask the venue for metadata on that assignment form. If your signature was forged, that's fraud. I don't want revenge, I said. I want my seat back. You can't get yesterday, she said. But you can get the truth. Owen greeted us with the look of a man who knows chandeliers see too much. We log document metadata, he said. He pulled up the assignment. May 2, 2024, 9:14 p.m., he read. IP, 72.184.32.19. Location, Bellevue, Washington. Browser, Safari. I do not own a Mac. Can you identify the subscriber? Priya asked. With a preservation request, yes. For identity, we'll need law enforcement or a subpoena. Do it, Priya said. We'll file a police report. Owen exhaled. We assumed the assignor had consent. We're trained to defer to the client. Who decides who the client is? I asked. The person on the paper, he said. And sometimes the person with the loudest voice. Mark suggested a talk at his church with Pastor Elena Rios. Warm voice. Hard eyes. Lila arrived in a denim jacket and a glow that hadn't learned shame yet. Jordan sat beside her like a man prepared to run. Margot wore jeans that cost a mortgage payment and a fog-colored sweater that said approachable. Pastor Elena folded her hands. We begin with truth. Faya. I feel erased, I said. I paid for the room I wasn't allowed to enter. Lila picked a thread on her sleeve. We needed boundaries, she said. Boundaries are fences you build on your land, I said. You built yours on mine. Margot leaned forward. This is about safety, she said. Lila has endured years of your volatility. Volatility? I asked. Do you mean crying? The time I asked to be invited to the shower I paid for. Jordan finally spoke. We didn't want drama. It was our day. Priya, beside me, slid a document onto the table. Assignment of contract, she said. Signed Faya Richter from a device in Bellevue at 9:14 p.m. on May 2nd. Lila flinched. Margot's smile cracked. We don't own a Mac, Margot said. And in any case, the payments were gifts. Did you ask my consent? I asked Lila. Did you tell me you were removing me from the contract? Silence did what lies cannot, it told the truth. Priya filed a police report for identity fraud. Détective Aaron Choc Aldon à Wednesday. We've requested subscriber info for the IP address, he said. If this is forgery, it's a felony. I sent him PDFs of everything. I learned that grief fits in attachments, receipts, emails, screenshots. We filed a civil claim for unjust enrichment, $23,840, the payments we could tie directly to specific representations. We excluded the gown installment and hair trial as gifts. Priya said judges respect restraint. Jordan S. Attorney sans bags under Wisnorin. Harassment, stalking, a request for a temporary protection order with a screenshot of my text. Do you want me there? As if longing were a threat. Don't contact them, Priya said. Let the court speak. Owen sent an affidavit. He had corresponded with me through December. The client name changed after the assignment. Metadata attached. The photographer Kendra emailed. Lila told me you wouldn't attend due to mental health reasons. I'm sorry. I would have asked more questions. A week later, Detective Shaw called again. Subscribez for the IP, Val Holdings LLC. Margot S. Compagnie. Priya gathered statements. From Nora, I saw Faya leave on the wedding day dressed, holding a corsage. She returned hours later, pale, carrying the same corsage. From the bank, 4 checks to the Glass Conservatory, the Shutter Room, photographer, and Eclipse Catering. Memo, venue de Posy, retenez, catering service. From my former principal, in 19 years, Faya ran a budget without a dollar missing. Organized. Clear. Responsible. From Aunt Camille, Lila was pressured by Margot to curate the guest list. I assumed Faya would be there. She paid for half of what we saw. Pastor Elena offered a note of her own. Repair requires truth. When I read that sentence, I realized truth is a currency too. I had given mine freely. They were paying with stories that didn't fit the receipts. Small courtroom. Thin carpet. A judge who looked like she could tell the difference between crying for attention and crying because you were invisible. Judge Aaron Caldwell asked us to speak plainly. Priya's opening, plaintiff contributed funds based on specific representations linking payments to her inclusion in the event. Later, the contract was reassigned using an e-signature executed from a device registered to the groom's family business. We seek restitution for unjust enrichment. Jordan's attorney, gifts. A mother's buyer's remorse about a guest list. The judge tilted her head. In a wedding, guest lists and venue payments are connected. Owen testified. He explained the contract, the assignment, the metadata. We showed the emails. Mom, please deposit today or we lose the date. Mom, we need $5,200 to lock the photographer. Mom, $4,100 for catering service. Premium is expected. Jordan's side showed my voicemail. the one where I cried after the shower. Grief is not instability, Priya said. It is what happens when love knocks and no one opens. Lila took the stand. She looked at the floor. I panicked, she said. I wanted one day that was mine. Who asked for the payments? Priya asked gently. Me, she whispered. Who signed the assignment? Silence. I asked Jordan to handle it, she said finally. Jordan took the stand and blamed the fog of planning. My friend Ben helped. He's good with forms. Ben who? The judge asked. No answer. Detective Shaw's report named Vale Holdings LLC. Margot did not testify. Judge Caldwell spoke like someone who had waited for the room to be quiet for a long time. I find that the plaintiff's contributions were induced by specific representations tied to her participation in the event, she said. I further find that an assignment of contract bearing her signature was executed without her consent from a device registered to the groom's family business. This court cannot adjudicate felony fraud. But equity demande restitution. She awarded $23,840 plus filing costs. She denied Jordan's request for a protection order. Asking to attend your daughter's wedding, she said, is not stalking. Then she looked at Lila. Boundaries do not permit deceit, she said. I hope you find a way to repair what you have damaged. I breathed for the first time since I heard strings through glass. Outside, Margot's smile turned to weather. She swept past me. Jordan looked at his shoes like they might tell him what to do next. Mark put a hand on my shoulder, then removed it when Margot glanced back. Lila Linger. Up close, her freckles were still there under makeup and choices. I thought if you weren't there I could breathe, she said. I didn't think about what you paid. I didn't think. I would have stood in the back, I said. I would have held my breath. She criait the wearin falls behind a closed window. Qui persiste. I don't know how to fix this. Start by choosing me, I said. Tell the truth. Even if it hurts. She didn't answer. But she didn't look away. In the months after, I sold my house and moved to an apartment with morning light. I started a pop-up bakery at the Saturday market. People leaned over my scones and told me their mothers never baked. Nora came every week with a thermos and the kind of gossip that doesn't wound. Detective Shaw called once, the prosecutor declined for now. Weddings and money make justice slippery. But consequences found their own door. Margot's charity luncheons got smaller. People in this city read subscriber names in court filings, and they talk. I hung my teal dress on the closet door. It looks like a lake I never swam in. One evening, a knock. When I opened the door, Lila stood there alone. No car idling. No mother-in-law. I left, she said. For now. I'm at Aunt Camille's. I want to try. I made tea. We ate scones with our fingers because grace is often messy. We talked about nothing until we could talk about something. We made a plan that would be slow and then slower, counseling, weekly walks without phones, holidays where truth is the only dress code. Bittersweet, people say, as if sugar and sorrow don't live in the same kitchen. They do. I walked into my daughter's wedding and found out I wasn't invited. I walked into a courtroom and found someone who believed me. I walked into my kitchen and found my daughter, not all at once, but in pieces we can pick up. True love doesn't invite you because you paid. It invites you because you're family. And when family forgets, courts can return money. Only time can return a child. If this story touched your heart even a little, know that there are so many more voices, stories, and moments waiting to be shared. Subscribe and join me, so together we can listen, feel, and understand these lives that are rarely told. Every story matters, and your presence here gives them a chance to be heard. I promise, the next story might move you even more than this one.